As I always ask you, if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment if that's what you'd like to do. I don't mind. Yeah, just start your reading for Capricorn. So the first card you have your past is the Five of Cups. Yeah, this is a bit of a sad card. So I'm actually seeing a lot of bewilderment around this. It's like you're in the situation and you're like, how did this happen? I don't understand how this happened. I don't understand why this happened. Bewilderment, that's what I'm getting around this. I think this might be a situation about a friend. They might actually be an ex-friend now. Yeah, I think you were going along as usual. You were friends, you were talking, everything was fine. And I actually think this is someone who was a really close friend. I think they stood up for you in the past. I'm actually seeing an incident where someone might have accused you of something, and I think they stood up for you. I think they've always stood up for you. So I think when you saw this happen, yeah, it was a big shock to you. You thought this person was very loyal, and they're not. They're just not as loyal as you thought. I think what might have happened was, yeah, I'm actually seeing a conversation, and you might have come across this conversation and you've seen this. And when you saw this conversation, because I think it might have happened on social media maybe, because I think this is something you read, and you saw this or you heard this maybe, and you were just so shocked, so bewildered. It was really out of character, so you thought. And I think then you just kind of took yourself away from this person. I think it was really hard for you to get used to being away from them, because I think you were just so used to talking to them all the time. You really trusted this person. So, you know, I think you did get away from them. You did distance yourself, but I think you might have still had the door open for them a bit, you know, with this bridge here. That doesn't mean you want them back, or you want to talk to them all the time again, or you're going to just automatically forgive them. It's just, I think you're just not used to being away from them, and I think you're just still trying to process all of this. So, you know, if this resonates, just take your time. You know, you don't have to think about, oh, I want them as a friend again, or I don't, or whatever. You don't have to make that decision right now. Just take your time. And I think you're right to distance yourself from this person, because I think what they did was quite... yeah, it was very, very hurtful. Very hurtful. That's what I'm seeing. Excuse me. So the next card you have your past is the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, this is what happened. You had these up and down emotions. You were just feeling up and down, really hurt. One minute I think you were thinking, oh, I'll call them because I'm used to calling them. And then you thought, oh no, I can't. So it was all this up and down. Yeah, I would actually be, I don't want to make you feel paranoid, but I'd actually be wary of talking to this person, at least for now. Be a bit careful what you say to them, because I think they might still say things behind your back. I think they are like that. These things that they said, this conversation that you saw, was all happening behind your back. And they might say more behind your back. I think what they said, I think what was happening was they might have actually accused you of doing something quite nasty, causing some kind of a clash or a crash. And it was all going on behind your back. Because if you look at this man in this card, he's got these two coins and they're going up and down, and your feelings were going up and down. But this thing was happening behind your back, like this clash with these two ships that are about to crash are behind his back. So, and you know, you didn't know this was happening. You were kind of minding your own business, doing whatever you're doing, and you didn't see this coming. So again, be very careful. If you're tempted to talk to them again, be very, very, very careful. You know, I don't think they're very honest about what they say. And this is a big revelation to you. You're just realizing all of this. And I hate to see this, because I think you already have a lot of trust issues, especially when it comes to love. You know, this isn't a love connection, but you know, the hurt was real, definitely. And I think it might have even hurt you more than a love connection, because I think you're actually more trusting with friendships than you are in love, because you've had a lot of problems in love. So I think this was even more difficult for you. I really hate to see this. I'm really sorry to see this, if this is all resonating with you. Yeah, the last card you have your past is the Two of Swords. Yeah, I think this person might have actually been doing this for a while, acting like this, talking behind your back, doing whatever they were doing. Obviously, you didn't realise until you saw this thing. There are a few times when I think they might have made you feel a little bit uncomfortable. You know, this woman's on a hard bench, it's quite uncomfortable, but I think you might have brushed a few things aside. You know, you're a very loyal friend. And I think now what happened was this blindfold was lifted and you could see exactly what was happening. So you knew that. And again, this card can be about decisions. So, you know, which way will I go? Will I go left? Will I go right? So again, you might still be going through this. Will I accept them back as a friend? Will I not? I really miss talking to them, but I can't really forgive what they've done. All of that might be going through your head. So again, take your time. Take your time. The other thing I'm seeing here is protect yourself. So I think while you're taking your time and deciding this, I really don't think you should be talking to them or whatever, because I think you might actually add fuel to them. And if they're talking behind your back, they might talk about that as well. So just keep your distance and take your time. Protect yourself while you're making this decision. That's what I'm seeing in that card. So the first card you have your presence, the Sun. Beautiful, beautiful card. I love this card. Okay, so, all right, so this might sound a bit strange. I'll just try and explain what I'm seeing. I think this is something that you're working on. I think this is like something like a project, or it's some kind of business. It might be something that turns into a business eventually. It's something like that. And I see this thing all the time in your reading, so it's probably the same thing I keep on seeing. Now, this is something that's very close to your heart. You really want to do this. You can see you want to get to the end of this. You're excited about this, or you were once. But what I'm seeing now is there's a bit of a tired feeling around this. You know, I think what's happened is you've planned this out, you've organised this because that's what you like. You're a planner. And I think this is on the right track. I think you're working toward this. But I think it's kind of hit a little bit of a slump. You're a little bit tired. You're kind of going along with the grind of things. And it's a bit like, well, you know, I'm just not feeling this. I was excited at the beginning, but now it's a little bit like, I'm not sure now. So with this Sun card, this enthusiastic card, this happy card, I think this is a message to tell you, to kind of remind you of what this first felt like when you had this idea. Because when you had this idea first, you're really excited. You wanted to start this. You were like, oh, I can't wait to start this and all of that. There was like it was almost like there was a childlike optimism around this when you first started. And I think that's what you have to try to get back to, if you can. You know, just remember why you started. Just remember why you started doing this. Look at the passion in this red banner. That's the feeling you have to try to get back. Now, the other thing is, I think this is how you're going to be able to do this with this other thing I'm seeing here. So I hope this is going to make sense. I know I'm kind of talking backwards and forwards because I'm seeing a lot of different things in this. I think this might be going in a different direction to what you first thought. And I think you might be a little bit worried about this, worried about changing this direction. And I think the message in this is just to go with the flow of this, just go with this change in direction. Because I'm just looking at this child in this card again. And when children play, they don't care about the direction they're going in. They go here, they go there. They don't mind. So, you know, I'm not saying you don't need structure. Of course you do. You need structure, you need organisation, you need all of that kind of thing. But don't get bogged down in that. You know, if you see yourself, if you kind of see things drifting in this direction, it might not be where you first imagined it was going to go, but let it go that way. You know, if it's supposed to go that way, if you see, oh, actually, that might be a better way to go down. I might branch into another way. It might lead me to something completely different. That's fine. Just let it take you down that way, because sometimes the universe wants to take things where it just wants to take them. It might not be where you want to take them, but sometimes you just need to go with that flow. I am seeing a very, very positive outcome to this, and I've been seeing this for a long time in your reading, so keep on moving forward. And I think if this all resonates with you, just try to let it go in the direction it wants to go in. You know, for example, you might start doing one thing and then it might lead you into a totally different area. I'm trying to think of an example, but I can't think of one. But I hope you know what I'm talking about. Just let it go in that area. I hope that makes sense. Sorry, I was a bit crazy when I said that. So yeah, the next card you have your present is the Hermit. Okay, so, right, this is what I'm seeing. Now, I don't know if this person in the Five of Cups knows that you actually know about this, that you've seen this conversation. Because I think what's going to happen is, if they haven't done this already, they're going to come and they're going to try to talk to you. And I'm just seeing them acting as if nothing's happened, which is really terrible, actually. So either they don't know that you've seen this, or they do know and they're just acting as if nothing's happened, which is kind of worse. And you're wise to this. This Hermit's very wise, so you're wise to all of this. So, you know, if they don't know and they're coming to talking to you and they don't know that you know, it's pretty bad, because what they've done is quite bad. And if they do know that you've seen this, I think it's probably even worse. It's quite insulting, because it's kind of like, well, I know they know, but I'm just going to act as if nothing's happened. That's even worse, I think. You know, you're wise to this. You know this has happened, and you know, if they haven't spoken to you already, they're probably going to come and talk to you. They're probably going to act as if nothing's happened. And I think that's going to make you feel even more bewildered. You're going to be thinking, you know, why are they acting like this? Why are they acting as if nothing's happened? I'm really upset. I'm even more upset. I'm even more bewildered. I'm even more insulted than I was originally. So, again, this is, you know, this Hermit, obviously he goes by himself. So firstly, I'm seeing you're wise to this. I don't know whether they know that or not, but they're going to come and talk to you and kind of act as if nothing's happened, which is terrible. So again, the advice here is to just distance yourself, be by yourself. And I think really you're probably going to have to be distance yourself for a long time, maybe even forever. You might have to just keep completely away from this person. That's what I'm seeing. You really don't want this kind of person around you. It's hard to do that, because I know you're used to, if this is all resonating with you, I know you're used to speaking to them all the time. You're used to having them around. You're used to all of that. And now you're having to make that adjustment to be away from them. But what you've got to realize is, if someone does this to you, they're not the same person that you thought they were. They're a different person. So just remember that. I mean, if you're tempted to talk to them, call them, whatever, just remember that. They're not that person that you think you have to call. They're not that person that you want around them. They're a different person. It's very sad to see, I know, but you know, if this is resonating, you can't have these kinds of people treating you like that, you know, and then acting as if everything's fine. It's not fine. It really isn't. Obviously, this is up to you, but this is what the advice in this card is. That's what I'm seeing. Okay, so the last card you have your presence, the Three of Wands. Yeah, so this is another reminder to you, I think, because I'm just looking at the Sun card and I'm looking at this card, and this is all golden and beautiful like the sun. You know, the sky's golden, the sea's golden. So this is reminding you that even though you're waiting, even though you're not sure, even though you're kind of going along with the grind and it seems to be taking forever with this project, the results are going to come in. They definitely are. So don't give up on this. And again, here's the water. We're talking about flow. So go with the flow of where this wants to take you. The other thing I'm seeing in this card is I think someone might be asking you a question, or they're about to ask you something, or they're about to ask you, propose something to you, ask you to do something. It might have something to do with a trip or a journey. That's often in this card. It might not. I think there's love around this question. So if you're in a relationship, or if you're just talking to someone, or even if you're not, it might be someone that comes out of nowhere and asks you something. So whoever this is, I think they're thinking very seriously about you. I think what I'm seeing here, this is interesting. You're a very stable person, and I don't think they've had a lot of stability in their life. And I think they're actually quite a loner in their personality, or they come across as being that way. But actually what they crave is stability. And they see you as having that stability, and they really admire that in you. And so I think what's going to happen is they're going to come and ask you this question. I think you're going to be really surprised when they do, because I don't think you realise this is how they're feeling about you, for one. And the other thing is, they don't seem to be someone who wants a stable relationship or to be with someone in that way. And they actually are. So this is going to really surprise you. It's going to be a pleasant surprise. It's going to be a good surprise. At this time, I think they might be holding back a little bit with this question. They're definitely going to come and ask you this. But I think at the moment they might be a bit nervous. They might be a bit worried about what you're going to say. But they are definitely going to ask you this. That's what I'm seeing in that card. So the first card you have for your future is the Four of Cups. Yes. So this is why they're a little bit nervous, or one of the reasons why. I think they might be afraid that you're going to reject them. I think they might also be afraid of this stability. Now, it's a bit strange, because I think on the one hand they really crave this, they want this, but on the other hand they're a bit afraid of it as well, if that makes sense. They're really backwards and forwards about this. They're really worried, firstly, you might reject them, and then they're worried that it's kind of like they want something, but then they're afraid of getting it in case it's not what they want. It's a bit strange. I know this is all a bit strange, because I think they've been putting on a little bit of a facade that, they're a bit tough, they're a bit lone, they're a bit of a loner, they like to be alone, they don't need anyone around them, they probably roam around a bit, they don't like to be stable, or they look like that, but actually deep down they do. So I don't know what your answer is going to be. I'm getting the feeling that you do actually like this person. It is going to take you by surprise. It's absolutely going to take you by surprise when they ask you this question. So, if you are a bit shocked and you say, oh, what? Or if you laugh, or if whatever, just be very careful, because actually deep down underneath this hard facade that they have, this kind of loner, hard, rebel without a cause kind of thing, that's what I'm seeing in them. They have this facade, but actually deep down they're a bit sensitive. So be a bit careful of how you answer them. Make sure you answer them in a sensitive way, whatever your answer is. They might look as if they're all brave and big or whatever, and that nothing bothers them and all of that. It does bother them. It really does. That's what I'm seeing in that card. So just be a little bit sensitive around this person. But this is really nice. They really do see you as someone who's not just stable, but they're very attracted to you. They see a lot of very beautiful qualities in you. It's very beautiful. And I don't think they've actually come forward like this to anyone else. That's very special. So the next card you have in your future is the King of Wands. Yeah, again, look at this. Look at this card. I don't mean to be repetitive, but I keep on seeing this situation. So this king wants to stand up. He wants to get up and walk toward what he wants, but he's not doing it. He's just sitting there. He's just thinking really carefully about how he's going to go about doing this. So I think that's what this person's still going to be doing for a while. They're going to come, they're going to ask you this question. They're probably still going to be at the stage for a while where they're just thinking, oh, I don't know, I'm a bit afraid, I really want to do this. But, you know, I just, at the moment, I'm just thinking about this. I'm worried. I don't know what the reaction's going to be. So this is all going around in their mind, kind of swirling around in their mind. If you look at this card, there's a salamander or a lizard behind this king's head. So he's kind of thinking, do I want this? Do I not? I know I do, but I'm a bit afraid, backwards and forwards. And his mind's kind of spinning around like this lizard chasing its tail. So that's what this person's probably doing at this time. They are going to come towards you. They are going to ask you this question, definitely. The other thing I'm seeing here is they are attracted to you. They're physically attracted to you. They're also mentally attracted to you. And they're attracted to the way you are. Yeah, there's a lot of passion here as well. And I think that's what's driving them as well, really. That's a part of it as well. So, yeah, the last card you have for your future is the Ace of Wands. Yeah, passion. Look at this. More passion. So there's definitely passion that's driving them as well. And yeah, this is what's going to happen, I think, when you just let go and just go with the flow of this project. If this is what you do, if you go with the direction that it wants to take you in, which is what I think you should do. I'm just looking at the clear background on this card. I'm just going to push this up so you can see the whole card. So, yeah, there's a clear background on this card. And, you know, in the bottom, there are these green hills, and there's this river flowing through this landscape as well. So the sky, to me, because it's so clear, it looks like a clear slate, a clean slate to me. So I think this is actually going to end up going in a totally new direction, a clean, new, clear direction. And I think this new direction, this is where all the fertile soil is. Which is what's on the bottom of this card, all this fertile soil. So this fertile soil, this new direction, this new area, this is where all the new ideas are. And this is probably where all the new customers are as well. So if this is a business, and I think it is, or it has potential to grow into a business, this is where the success is. The success is in this new area where the fertile ground is and where the new clear blank slate is. I hope that makes sense to you. So if this is making sense to you, it might not be, but if it is, keep on working on this. Definitely don't give up on this, but let the work and the project take the lead. Keep on working, but see where it takes you, because I think the universe might be taking this in a new direction for you, and I think it's really important for you to be open to this new direction. So I really hope this makes sense to you. I know I was a little bit muddled and mixed up in this, it was a bit confusing, but I hope it does make sense to you. So Capricorn, I hope this resonated. As you know, general readings can't always resonate with everyone. But again, if you liked this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if that's what you'd like to do. And thank you so much for watching.